Hey guys, Andy here, and today we have another horror talk episode. And as always, before we go ahead and get into it, if you want to know what is on my face, this is the Pat McGrath Celestial Nirvana palette, and then I added some super shocks for No Shock November. So everything that I'm wearing on my face will be listed down below, and if you want to catch me going live doing this makeup, I go live on TikTok every day, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Central. All of the deets will be down in the description box below. And as always, if you are into makeup, unboxings, and a little bit of horror sprinkled on in, I would love to have you subscribe as I post content Monday through Friday and sometimes on the weekends too. So if that's something you're into, please hit that subscribe button, give me a like, let me know how you're feeling on this video, and let's just go ahead and get on into it. So for today, we have the 2018 remake of Halloween. This is an IMDb rating of 6.5 out of 10, and the storyline goes: Jamie Lee Curtis returns to her iconic role as Laurie Strode, who comes to her final confrontation with Michael Myers, the masked figure who has haunted her since she narrowly escaped his killing spree on Halloween night 4 decades ago. I have a lot of trivia for this movie. I found the trivia for these so interesting. So we have, as with the original Halloween in 1978, Michael Myers is listed in the credits not as Michael Myers, but as the Shape. And I think that that's so interesting because, like, he's not just a regular person, and that's really what that is alluding to. In the child's bedroom, the rotating lamp featuring a clown with a knife is a nod to the first killing in the original film. This became the highest grossing Halloween film its opening weekend, which, I mean, this was a really good movie. I didn't see it right when it came out, but I saw it very shortly thereafter. Like, I didn't go to the theaters, but once it came out on DVD, I saw it. I've seen all of these. The release date for the film in the US was on Michael Myers' birthday, which is October 19th, if you did not know that, which I didn't know that, so I find that that's really neat. Allison mentions that Halloween is a school night. Halloween in 2018 was on a Wednesday, making it an actual school night. And I love that, they really looked at the calendar and were like, oh, if we say this line, is it going to be true when this movie comes out? This is the first Halloween movie to be shot digitally instead of on film, which is very interesting. There's something that I like about the graininess that film gives, but I totally understand. Producer Jason Blum and his distributing company, Blumhouse Productions, this is their first major horror icon film, which I love Blumhouse. I think they make amazing horror movies. So, like, for this being the movie that kicked off them into the horror scene, I love that. Halloween 2018 was released 40 years after the original 1978. Halloween Kills, which is the next movie we'll be covering, which came out in 2021, was released 40 years after Halloween 2, 1981, which that's its remake. And Halloween Ends, which just came out in October, was released 40 years after Halloween 3, Season of the Witch in 1982. So I find that super nice that, like, this new trilogy was really wanting to capitalize on that 40-year time frame between the movies. So, as always, if you're not into the gruesome and the gory, this is where you should stop the movie, because I'm going to be getting into the kill count and how all of those happened in the movie, as well as this is really where the spoilers start for me for the episode. So if that is not your thing, I totally understand, and I will see you guys in the next one. But for those of you that like the gruesome and the gory, let's get on into the kill count. So there are 18 kills in this movie. Not the most, but, like, that's still, like, up there. We have unnamed bus driver, who was killed off screen by Michael Myers. We have guard Haskell, who was mortally wounded off screen by Michael Myers. Warden Kuhneman was also mortally wounded off screen by Michael. That's my only complaint with this movie, is there's a lot of off-screen kills, but again, this was a remake or, like, a reboot to the franchise, and a lot of the movies back then had a lot of kills off-screen, so I do get it. We have Kevin's father. His neck was snapped off-screen by Michael. Kevin, his neck was also snapped by Michael. We have an unnamed mechanic who was beaten to death with a rubber mallet by Michael Myers. That sounds awful because, like, I've held a rubber mallet and, like, the force to beat someone to death with one of those, like, that's terrifying. We have unnamed cashier whose jaw was ripped open off screen by Michael. Would have been nice to, like, see that. But that's just me. We have Aaron Corey, who was bashed into a door numerous times by Michael. We have Dana Haynes, whose neck was snapped by Michael. Gina Pancella was beaten to death with a hammer by Michael. Andrea Wagner was stabbed in the back of the neck with a kitchen knife by Michael. We have Vicky, who was stabbed with a kitchen knife by Michael. Dave was stabbed in the back of the neck with a kitchen knife off screen by Michael. We have Oscar, who was impaled on a fence by Michael. That one was really good, in my opinion. Like, that's where the movie really kicked off, in my opinion, is, like, once he got impaled on the fence. Like, from that point to the end of the movie, it was just top-notch. We have Dr. Ranbir Sartain. I'm probably pronouncing that horribly wrong, and I apologize. His head was stepped on by Michael. We have Officer Richard was stabbed in the head with a penknife off screen by Michael. And we have Officer Francis, who was decapitated off screen by Michael. And then we have Ray Nelson, who was strangled with a chain by Michael, which that was Allison's dad. So those are all the kills. That's the whole movie, the whole shebang. I enjoyed this movie. I don't think it was super scary, but I really liked the kills. I liked the pacing of the movie. I liked the acting of the movie. I think that this is a good one. I enjoyed it. I would rewatch it again. I think that it's a good movie. So for me, this one gets 4 stars because I really, really like this movie. I wish it was scarier. I wish more of those kills that were off screen, we got to see them, because that would just through the moon for me, because I like gore, but I understand why a lot of those kills were off screen for the movie's sake. But even so, the kills that we do get to see are great, and like I said, I think the pacing is good. I think that it's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend. I personally think this reboot timeline is better than the original timeline, in my personal opinion. After the 1978 Halloween, the other Halloween movies are just kind of boring for me. So I really like this reboot, and I really like these movies. So next we will be covering Halloween Kills, right? Yes. Halloween Kills will be the next movie, and then, we'll get to all the juicy details, because spoiler alert, I really like the series. I do. I like the reboot series. All the original movies, like Halloween 2 through the originals before this, not a huge fan of them. That's why I'm not covering them. I'm only covering what is canon, and then the Rob Zombie timeline, which is the 2 Rob Zombie movies, which we will do after we finish what is canon. And the only reason I'm doing the Rob Zombie movies as well is because I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan, and I loved the Rob Zombie reboot, so we will cover those too, but they are not canon, so they'll be at the end. But again, Halloween 2018 gets 4 stars for me. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this movie. Have you seen it? Are there any movies that you would like me to cover? And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.